You don't get anything big though, do you? Oh, you're drawing. You're crazy. But hey, I won't complain.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
What's up YouTube? The new expansion Beyond the Battlewood is finally here, and that also means that Teemo got some amazing new support, mainly in form of Caitlyn and an additional type of traps, flash bomb traps, that control the board rather than damaging the opponent's nexus. And as you might have guessed, that was the very first deck I brewed, that was the first deck I tried on day one, and I want to share this deck with you. It's pretty spicy, it had quite some success, and at first sight you might notice right away this looks fairly similar to the previous Teemo Ezreal build that has been around with Hexcore Foundry for a while. This does play somewhat differently though. It's got the same early idea of playing cheap mana efficient units and protecting them with mana efficient combo tricks, while at the same time making sure that both you and your opponent draw a lot of cards with Veteran Investigator, Hexcore Foundry, Insider Knowledge, and Louvre Travelers. The main difference is that this does not try to stall the game quite as much, but can also play very much for board control with the flash bomb traps that Caitlyn provides. Very often it will remove units at the start of the round, and you might get damage in through the board through an open attack or by other means. And another very important tool that this deck has gotten is this lovely finisher. Corina Mastermind is one of the most impactful cards from the new expansion, I feel like. Most people don't know that the ability here to activate the effects of all traps in top 5 cards of the deck does not actually use up the traps. That means you can pop your opponent's board and nexus for quite a bit of damage, and then you also immediately gain the info for how much your opponent is going to get hit over the course of the next few turns. This also gives you a lot of agency, a lot of options on when you want to pop these traps, how you want to make your opponent draws with cards like Insider Knowledge at fast speed. Very fun to play, it's very strategic, but also a lot of potential. So yeah, feel free to experiment around with the deck, with the list. It's very fun to play, it's very strategic, and I'll show you guys a couple of gameplay videos which all went quite differently and just showcase the different strategies that you can go with this deck. Have fun, enjoy. Veigar Senna, this should be a very interesting matchup. We need to go much harder for the path caps on this, because the bombs don't do too much. Wow, what an opening though. I won't really have mana for Troll Chant, but my opponent should also not have removal the first couple of turns. My opening hand is so good. Whenever Prank hits the +2 cost, it's a really, really solid way of regaining tempo though for our opponent.
Tough places breed tough people.
Oh, this is the dream 1-2-3 with this deck though. We're getting the hit in. Wonder if my opponent's gonna go for Teemo or the Sting here. I feel like usually Sting would be the best choice in most matchups, but against a, yeah, if opponent's playing a very slow control deck, the puff caps are scarier. It's probably the right target for my opponent.
Let us cast shadows.
Think I'd let this go through. So against control decks, we want to play Foundry as early as possible. It's funny. We can set up a great open attack though with the Peddler. I think I like that even more. And then play Foundry next turn.
Gaze into the light.
Yeah, this is such a good start. This is looking really well, really nice so far. Like, the traps are not gonna do too much, but they are gonna threaten Senna, and they are gonna level Caitlyn.
Thousands to go.
And our opponent shouldn't really play any defensive combo tricks that make him regain HP.
Concentrated forgiveness. So close.
Oh, there we go, there we go. Just as planned.
As they say, makes perfect.
Still love this level up animation.
Demacia sends it.
Do you do again? First time you slay a unit with a spell.
Officer J.S. Hawkjaw.
Jackpot.
Second time's worth.
And bombs can be so good. We just removed a freaking Senna for almost free. Like, all of those traps were from Caitlyn or Sting Officer. They, like, passively shuffled those. Oh, we're getting such a good open attack again. Yeah, I'd probably sack this. That should be perfectly fine. But yeah, I can do this. I can put Insider Knowledge on the stack. Make him draw a million traps and then Senna hits for, I don't know, a lot of damage. Oh, they didn't let us have it. GG though. I think this deck should do very well into most control decks.
Another criminal court, another case.
As long as you know that you have to mainly play for the puff caps. And for like cheeky open attack windows. And more aggro / tempo decks. Okay, interesting hand. Second Caitlyn is pilled over Peacemaker, which is good, but not mana efficient. We really want a Brittle Steel. I feel like we do this. Or this. Mystic Shot really only hits the Fallen Rider or whatever it's called. Yeah, let's try this.
Prepared for anything. Anything else. Armed and ready. Enough for everyone.
Status high. An expert is at work.
I think I sack Teemo here.
Vandal scouts are never afraid.
Why do you not swing with this? Interesting. I suppose this list runs survival skills. Maybe you want this as a blocker against Caitlyn.
Not by a long shot.
But I still have to take the attack here. Like, we can't always play around worst case scenario. Grenadier, okay. Well, we're getting the bombs. That's the important part here. For this matchup, at least.
Time for the main event.
Yeah, the Peacemaker should be good here. Justice Rider taps us out of combat tricks. Or we just go double Troll Chant. Would also be really strong.
Let's boogie.
That's your plan.
Caitlyn just spoke my thoughts.
Turning yourself in.
Like, only attacking with Draven looks really sus. So this forces the axe. We can see how our opponent tries to react. The good thing is, the way we're doing this, survival skills now would hit the Risen Rider, which is of course useless. Also, like, grant your strongest ally +2 or granted overwhelm is all useless right now.
Now we're cooking.
Now they technically can get it back. Now the question is, do we troll chant or do we elixir because of mana efficiency? The only punish would be Poro Cannon into that grant your strongest ally +2. It's possible, not super likely. Or Poro Cannon into survival skills, I suppose. I think I like troll chant more, to be honest. Keeping Caitlyn healthy should not really matter here. Just a cute side effect. This might have been a bit of a waste of resources. I feel like those combos are definitely possible in our opponent's hand. They probably play 3 Poro Cannon, they probably play 3 of the 5-drop. That would buff Draven. And they probably also play 2 or 3 survival skills. Definitely playing Justice Rider here. Might be correct for my opponent to take the block. Because this is likely to die to traps. To flash bombs. Steampunk motorbike, I love it. Also, what is this random Poro cake doing here? The cupcake. Caustic cask? Wait, is this the used cask salesman? Damn, there's so much story in this picture.
Suspicious activity detected just outside the station.
Stay on him.
Oh right. These are Caitlyn's traps, aren't they? You're the snap traps. They are disguised as cupcakes. As bait for the Yordles. I forgot about it. Okay, bombs, do your work. Wouldn't have minded the Draven hit, but sometimes we take what we can get. Officer was witness pursuing suspect at the house. Into a trap of our own making. Love it. Okay, we're gonna see if we need the 3 sisters before we play Foundry.
Let's race. You and me.
I don't even know if it's worth removing my opponent's board, because if they don't have a board then they draw flash bombs, we technically lose value.
Time for the moneymakers.
Got him good. So the read earlier on was correct that our opponent probably wanted to boost +2 attack onto Draven. So the troll chant earlier on actually paid off big time. Blocking for 2 bad. We have another Caitlyn in hand. If our opponent has something like survival skills. I'm also happy that it goes on the 4-2 instead of Draven. Goodbye! Oh, these flash bombs are gonna do work. Caitlyn already did so much this game. That's insane. She already won so many trades. She hit the Nexus for a lot of damage. She shuffled a ridiculous amount of flash bombs. Card's just kind of solid all around. Yeah, this deck can definitely hold its ground against like mid-rangey type of aggros. Against aggro that tries to push damage through the board. I think it's gonna struggle heavily against burn matchups though. Because in that case, whenever you make your opponent draw, you give them more opportunities to draw into burn cards.
All part of the plan.
Perfect Peacemaker setup here. Also just Corina blowing stuff up. Okay, how scared am I of you? Not a lot, right? Thinking if I ever shuffle bombs instead of activating the ones I have. Could pass here for sure. Oh, activating bombs would... Yeah, that would have been actually... That's a great point. That would have been... that would have prevented my opponent's attack completely. So Caitlyn already deals 6 damage on the block, right? If we play Corina Mastermind now, if we hit at least 2 more traps, which is super likely, she deals 8 damage on the block. I wonder if my opponent is going to realize this. This is very unintuitive, like the amount of damage that Caitlyn can put out on defense. Or we just hit 1 path cap, that would already be enough. I mean, I could Peacemaker just in case. Improve our odds even further. The thing is, if our opponent doesn't attack, we also kind of just win. Because our opponent is going to draw a lot. Like, we're going to control their board completely. Like this, for example. And then we get a sweet, sweet open attack. Yeah, that's hitting the Nexus for 10. Goodbye.
Tea time's over.
Yeah, that's an interaction to keep in mind. Corina plus leveled Caitlyn is a crazy finisher.